Okay, what other hints can you give us about money and tickets and traveling in Europe?
So the third tip I have is when you buy, say, public transportation ticket, and don't go to the tourist
office.
Yeah, either tourist office or any other private operated rooms. Just go to the ticket booth or machine to get it. We had some ticket here, and it's supposed to be just 1 day pass. We just take a transportation, but we had to pay extra for it. If we got it at the machine, it would be cheaper. The next topic is how to change from dollar to euro. There are many options to make this change. There are pluses and minuses. The first option is you just have the dollar and change it at any U.S. banks. So if you go to a U.S. bank, what they do is they make a request. You don't get this euro same day. They will deliver to you. So there's a deliver charge, there's a service charge, and the conversion rate also is not as good. The conversion rate you see posted on the internet will not be the same you get, because you are only changing a few $100, $1,000, while the conversion rate posted there for a much larger amount. So we didn't go through that route. The second option is if you have a dollar, you can actually go to a bank in Europe. In Europe, the conversion rate will be a little bit better, but you get the euro same day. That's an advantage. But still, there are what they call the euro commission fees, and some place just exchange currency, they charge a percentage, like a few percent, 2 or 5% on the overall transaction. So that's not the best option. The best option is go to an ATM machine at Europe. The ATM machine, there are 3 types of card you can have. Either an ATM card. So you have an ATM card from various different banks. Now the ATM card has either, in this case, called a plus or interlink, or a star or plus. But I noticed some of the ATM in Europe has this sign, which means you can withdraw with a bank ATM card, but a lot of them don't. And they all have a Visa logo. So the best is, instead of using ATM card, you use the debit card. Debit card, you have to give a PIN code. The fees for debit card or ATM card is, there's an ATM fee, the first. ATM, if it's not the same bank, I didn't see any Wells Fargo, Chase, and even Citibank, I didn't see it. The different bank will charge ATM fee. I found one, it's a Charles Schwab, and I tried it. It didn't charge me any ATM fee. So that's what the one I'm using, or I used.
That's nice to know.
Right.
Because yeah, usually I'd expect to get socked with a lot of different fees.
And the Chase, I checked the account we have at the Chase. I also get a debit card, and Chase allow 5 times for us a month. So that's another option. The other fees are transaction fee. The bank could charge 3%, but Charles Schwab didn't charge it. The only problem I had with, I didn't have that earlier. So they have to FedEx to me, charge me $15 for just overnight deliver. So I got this card in 3 or 4 days.
overnight, but you get it in 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
But so I guess what you mean is that you didn't order it until maybe a week before you were leaving.
Right.
So you were worried about whether you'd get it in time.
Yeah. But overnight meaning they don't start until next day, and then there's a, I think maybe second day. But I paid $15. That's if you withdraw $500 only, that will be quite a few percentage. But make sure you request the debit card long before your trip, so you get everything ready. The credit card, they all could give you cash from ATM. Now, the only problem is a credit card charge very high percentage on the interest. Once the day you withdraw money from the ATM, it start accrue interest.
And I think you'd have to have a PIN code.
Yeah, you have to have a PIN code, correct. So I request PIN code for each card, even though at the end I didn't use it. The interest was very high. I checked American's price, 19 something percent, and all others 17, 18, 19, 21, 22%.
Wow.
Very high. In addition, the old card charge 3% transaction fee.
Okay.
Every card. Now the transaction fee, if you withdraw a very small amount, it's not up to say $5 or $10. They will have a fixed amount, say $5 or $10 fees.
Okay. Actually, right now I'm wondering why, if you requested the PIN codes for the credit card, why then you had the trouble at the hotel with needing a PIN code.
Yeah. So that's a different. The PIN code is used at the bank to withdraw cash. It's not a PIN code for credit transaction. So it's a different type of transaction.
Wow. Okay. So in other words, you could have more than one PIN code attached to the same credit card for different purposes.
Correct. Yeah.
So it sounds like you had to contact all these different credit card companies and banks ahead of time to make sure that you'd be able to withdraw money, make charges, and so on, so you didn't end up in trouble.
Yeah. So all the credit card or bank, they have a fraud alert department. So I have to contact them, tell them exactly which country where we were going to, and which day.
So this in order that any charges you might make there wouldn't be rejected.
Right.
And yet, in the end, the easiest was just to go to the ATM with one of the credit cards that you had already contacted the bank to make sure it would work.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just your usual credit or your usual debit card, ATM card that you plug into your bank at home.
Oh no, yeah, it's I use the ATM at home, but for this trip I got the Schwab with a Visa debit card. So I use a debit card to withdraw money. So
Gee.
that was the best.
Sounds like too much work.
Well, yeah, I probably next time if I start again, maybe I won't take the cash. I maybe just trust there's some debit card would work, so avoid all other problem. But I just want to be safe to have a plan A, plan B. What if plan B doesn't work? I have plan C. So the plan C is the credit card withdraw cash.
Okay. And how hard was it to find ATMs where you were? I mean, were they all over the place like they are in cities here, or did you ever have a situation you couldn't find an ATM when you needed one, or? Yeah,
we found an ATM. The only thing we were not sure is whether what's the fee on the ATM. there's an ATM and it doesn't tell you how much fee is charging if you use it. I had a Charles Schwab that would reverse all the ATM fees, but I didn't know what kind of fee because there are ATM from the bank and ATM from a third party. So I think it's better to use the one from the bank.
Okay, but anyway, you could find the machines. They weren't
right.
Too few or hidden.
Right.
Okay.
I could find all the, but if you do have a choice, use the one from the bank.
Okay.
The very last topic is the credit card purchase. And then before I left, in the purchase, they all charge 3% fees for a transaction, and American Express charged 2.7%. That's the only difference. But at the end, we didn't use any credit card because we didn't have the PIN code. Anyway, and that was a good experience. We didn't really have a money problem at all.
Okay. Well, so the only place you tried to use the credit card though was at the hotel. Did you even try anywhere else?
Yeah, the Barcelona bus stop. We tried to buy the ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
But pretty much everything else you did in cash that you had withdrawn from the ATM. Okay.
Yeah, cash is good.
Okay. Thank you.